This week on World Traveler Cooking, I'm going to make my first foray into Lebanese cuisine. So we're going to make a dish called Kibbeh Nayyeh. This is raw kibbeh. It's a raw meat preparation from Lebanon. They use lamb, veal, or beef in it. So you could use beef, you could use lamb, you could use veal, up to you. Basically it's eaten with olive oil, bread, and usually vegetables, and I'll get into that in a little bit. I don't have the olive oil out, I don't have the bread out, and I'll probably bring out some other herbs to eat with it afterwards also. So the ingredients are actually pretty simple. We have ideally fine bulgur wheat. I couldn't find this, so I ended up with Grünkohlschrot, which looks like a sort of fine bulgur spelt in this case, but it's a little bit green, so it'd be more like a frika. In the event where it's too coarse, I would try grinding it with the meat, but you want to try to get the finer ground bulgur if you can. So, main part of this, of course, is the meat, and this is lamb here. I have lamb sirloin, and that'll be the basic part. And we have this and then we have the spicy mixture, which is 1 tablespoon of salt, about a teaspoon of allspice, about a teaspoon of Lebanese 7 spice. You can make your own. At any rate, I'll put a list of the ingredients also in the description. So if you need to make your own 7 spice, you can. It's not hard. It's just take some spices, mix them together, and there you have your spice blend. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to take the whole packet and I'm just going to soak it in water for an hour. At the same time, once we get ready to get started, then I will cut the meat into pieces so that I can put it through the electric chopper, and yeah, this will be pretty easy. For vegetables to go with it, we're going to use cucumber. I think I'm also going to grab some mint, and normally this would be eaten on like a Middle Eastern flatbread, for example, very similar to a pita, but I'm having trouble getting that, so I'm going to try some with Swedish crisp bread today, which seems like it should be a good combination, so hope you like it. At any rate, let's go ahead and get started. So now that the bulgur's been soaked, I'm going to go ahead and chop this, basically turn it into a paste in batches. It'll probably take me 3 batches, maybe 4. And one thing I forgot to mention is that you need an onion too, so the onion will go in also at the end. So basically just put this in top, and then when it's fully chopped, we will add it to our bowl and go on to the next one. Of course, it's really important to use really good quality meat here, and meat that you can trust, since we will be eating it raw. So when we're almost done with the meat, we will add basically these 2 small onions, about the size, chopped into quarters. And we'll add the rest of the meat. And we will add all of our spices. And as we need it, we're going to start to add soaked bulgur, fine bulgur, into this. And we're just going to continue to knead this all together. So I have I'm done now mixing it with my hands. I've only probably used half of the bulgur, or so. I think that's probably enough. And now I think we're done. So next we're going to go ahead and plate. So to plate this, I'm going to start by making a bit of a ball. I'm going to put that ball on the middle of the plate, and then with a fork, I'm going to first with the back part of the fork, I'm going to just kind of spread it around. Ideally into a nice circular shape, although I'm failing at that a little bit right now. And then I'm going to smooth it out a bit. And then I'm going to make lines across it with my fork. And then you can garnish, for example, using mint, which is very nice. So here is our Kibbeh. Next up, the taste test. Now, because we're going to eat this with some cucumbers, you can also decorate the plate with the cucumbers, and this actually looks really nice. So here's the full plate. Now for the taste test. And now for the taste test, as well as to show you how to eat this. Normally it would be done with like pita bread, but I don't really have that, so I'm going to use Swedish crisp bread, which seems like it ought to work, but it's not really traditional. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scoop a bit of this up. Can smooth it out with a silverware or a piece of cucumber. Drizzle olive oil on top. And top it with a piece of cucumber. And let's go ahead and see how this is. So this isn't really what I expected. It's something different, very refreshing, very tasty. It's really delicious. The kibbeh very much complements the bread rather than overwhelms it. I'm used to a stronger raw meat preparation typically when I make these sorts of things, but this is actually really, really, really tasty. I'm going to try adding a little bit of mint, one of the mint pieces on here also. That's magical. Mint also adds a lot. So eating it with mint or cucumbers, really, really good. So if you find this content interesting, I hope I've earned a like and a subscription from you. And please feel free to comment if you make a dish like this, how you do it differently. I love to see this sort of discussion in the comments. So on top of that, I want to mention that this is the last show that will be recorded in this kitchen. I'm in the process of moving, and so by the time you even watch this, I will be hopefully comfortably settled in elsewhere. Feel free to check out my Patreon page where you can see early access to many, many different videos. I kind of expect to keep things approximately 3 months in advance, so you'd get access to videos 3 months early. At any rate, bon appetit, and see you next week.